Hello guys, welcome to my channel where we'll cover everything you need to know about medical doctors and medical students. In today's video, we're going to talk about a very sad topic that I feel needs to spread to as many people as possible. It's something that a lot of people are way ignorant of, and it affects us directly or indirectly. Whether you're being treated by one of these doctors affected or you're related to them, even if you aren't, it affects you in one way or the other, and that's about doctors' suicide. It's already known that doctors have the highest suicide rate among professionals, and this is nearly double the suicide rates among the general public, which is really sad. And in today's video, we're going to talk about various factors that predispose doctors to these suicidal tendencies, and we're going to talk about things that we could do to be able to improve this. And trust me, you have a role to play in this too. You can reach out to one doctor at a time, because you will know through this video how you might have ignorantly been contributing to some of these things that have pushed doctors and a lot of health workers into terminating their lives. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss my new videos, which I drop twice weekly. And to my returning subscribers, thank you for viewing this video once again. Now let's dive into today's video. We know that globally there's a shortage of health workers and doctors. Most countries do not even have adequate numbers of doctors, even developed countries, and developing countries are seriously lagging in this. This is a global event. Doctors globally are dying, and they are dying by taking their own lives. We know that for these doctors that have been lost, it's very difficult to replace them. Many had gone through training and have spent years in practice, and it's very difficult to replace them because medical training is very expensive, and for this experience that they have already had and had gone with it, it's a gap or a vacuum that will be nearly impossible to fill or might take time to fill. And these numbers are increasing. It's way more common among the medical students and the residents, doctors, to those in residency training. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 factors that have been linked, or factors that have been found to be responsible for suicide among medical doctors. These include depression, substance use disorder, emotional exhaustion, impaired relationships, and self-destructive tendencies. Studies have shown that doctors that die by suicide have underlying untreated or non-treated depression, and female doctors are way more susceptible or way more at risk of being depressed compared to their male counterparts. Although the tendencies of them taking their lives is lower, but when they attempt this, they are way more successful, or they are able to carry it through compared to the females in the general public. There are also specialties in which those specialties are way more likely to be depressed. And also it's been shown that those in medical training, either medical students or residency, have higher chances of being depressed. I could relate to this because there was a point in time I was depressed in med school and even had suicidal tendencies. But I'm lucky to live to talk about it. A lot of people were not this lucky at all, and we should address this. Many fail to come out with their conditions because of the fear that the documentation by the authorities could affect their career. And then another thing is stigma associated with these conditions could also affect them. So many doctors that even treat these conditions have to use fake names and do it secretly, or have to travel to hospitals that are very distant from theirs for the fear of being found out. So we could do better in this. We could encourage doctors to come out, and we could be way more supportive to a lot of them and other health workers too that are going through this. And authorities could also do better in assuring doctors that are fighting this battle that they have their backs, and this does not in any way affect their work or their reputations. The next factor is substance use disorder. Although medical doctors do not rank among the top professionals that are more prone to substance abuse, however, in the hospital settings, doctors and nurses rank high among health workers that could abuse substances way more than their patients. And this is enhanced by the fact that they easily have access to these prescription drugs and could easily use them and abuse them. So a lot of doctors are into drugs. A lot of doctors are also into alcohol. According to the Los Angeles Times, the number of doctors that are addicted is about 15%. And this is way high compared to the percentage of the general public that are addicted to substances, which is between 8 to 10%. So doctors are not really doing well when it comes to that. Somebody close to you might actually be fighting with addiction, and if this is left unchecked, could cause this person to lose his or her life in the long run. But the good news is that those who have been treated actually do well. The recovery rate is extremely impressive. The next factor is emotional exhaustion, which is defined as a state in which an individual is completely emotionally drained or worn out as a result of repeated exposure to challenging or negative events. And the hospital has its own fair share of negative events. It's a sad place most times, and doctors go through a lot. They wouldn't know innocently that they're already emotionally drained. And I had listed some of the manifestations of this in terms of how you behave and also your mentality towards work that will help you catch this on time. Emotionally exhausted doctors don't even deliver, and patients might come and see this doctor and they will not feel satisfied with whatever the doctor does. And this, if left unchecked, could tilt the doctor towards committing suicide. So I hope that some of these triggers, some of these factors are being identified quickly and being eradicated or alleviated to help preserve the lives of many people being affected by this. The next is impaired relationships. And in this, I'm going to talk about two forms of relationship: personal relationships and professional relationships. It's been found out that doctors that have very good relationships are way less likely to commit suicide compared to those that are alone. Increasingly, a lot of doctors are not really doing well in terms of relationships. Many have even pushed their loved ones away. Many are also distant from their loved ones, so they don't have the support. In training, doctors easily make friends with each other and might be fighting similar battles. Everybody's going through a lot to even be able to take care of the other person. So in terms of support, many doctors don't really have a strong support due to their poor personal relationship. Then another one is professional relationship, in which doctors have a lot of conflict with other health workers, including management and other health workers too. So I hope that we're able to improve on our relationships in the hospital, because a lot of people are going through a lot. Forget the fact that I'm using doctors, but a lot of health workers too are going through this. If we can actually be kind to people, in as much as, yes, we're encouraged to be professional too, but it has become increasingly toxic that people are on their own and fighting battles, but because we need to remain professional in these things. When we're going through these things, we can cry out for help and also be helped, even at work. The last factor for this is self-destructive tendencies. This is a trait in which many people that could easily become suicidal exhibit. We see people like this being very, very impulsive. They're into gambling, they're into very, very toxic traits that push people away from them. Many times, it's not really their fault, they're going through a lot. This is said to be facilitated also by childhood trauma and toxic environments. And we know the medical environment is extremely toxic. There are a lot of things that are happening that are damaging a lot of doctors mentally too. And they exhibit these traits. And this leaves them isolated and wouldn't be able to seek help when they need it the most. Some inflict injuries on themselves, some wallow in self-pity, some even embrace stress as a motivation, or they stress others thinking that stress is beneficial. So ways in which we can really tackle this is first, making sure that doctors and other health workers are being reassured that opening up will not in any way affect their work or their reputation. And we can make hospitals less toxic. Doctors and health workers go through a lot of things that put them under stress. We can learn to have better relationships with each other, and we could establish relationships with family and friends. We really need them. This battle is not something you should go through alone. So please be deliberate about keeping your relationships with people that care about you intact. Medical students and those aspiring to be medical doctors should also be made aware of many of these challenges so that they don't have too much expectations about this and are way more aware about how challenging the medical profession is and will be better prepared for it. A lot have no idea that medical school or medical training or medical practice will be this damaging, and it makes them way more susceptible to this thing. So this is one of the aim of this video, to make people way more aware of this, and if in case you choose to still practice medicine, you could be way more prepared for this. So that's the end of today's video. What do you think about the video? What do you think I left out? What did you really think I did justice to it? Let me know in the comment section below. I would love that you share this video with as many people as possible to be aware of this. We need to know that doctors and health workers are going through a lot. We're losing many of these people, and some are even leaving the profession. So we could help be kinder towards them. We could help we could also help them in any way we can. So see you in the next video.